We're going to work today with some worker narratives. It's one thing to know a job from the statistics, from the facts. Worker narratives really give you a sense of what is it like to do that job, and would I want to do that or not? If I was bringing this to students, I would be saying we're learning about careers, but we're also really practicing becoming a more proficient reader. And so one thing that proficient readers do is they ask questions and they read for a purpose. Make sure you're talking to your students up front about what they're doing and why they're doing it. You want buy-in from them. And then you also want to point out to them what kind of text do we have in front of us, and therefore what kind of strategy are we going to use. Also, as the teacher, you are thinking about your text and the challenges that it poses for your students. She can wrangle a forklift, swing a sledgehammer, and drive a nail in 3 quick blows. The text that we used, the text about the construction moms, it was harder, but very high interest. So if you want to use the text, one easy way is just by footnoting the vocabulary. Question stems are a really wonderful way to work with students at all levels. We use the question stems with this set of readings and throughout the career kit for 2 good reasons. What do these question stems accomplish? One reason is that this is something that good readers do when they read. They have a question in their mind and they're looking for an answer. So you want students to imitate that way of reading. The other reason is that when students write an answer to the question, you have a little record of what they understood and what they didn't understand. Was the answer to this all in one place? If you're giving students something that's a little more difficult, you scaffold it, doing it all together with the whole class before you send them off to do the same thing in small groups or individually. So let's try some of the other questions at tables.
Pay is usually different. Oh, sure. And the conditions are usually different.
So the whole approach is gradual release of responsibility. I do it, we do it, you do it.
Travel.
There can be
travel.
Once we had practiced one section all together as one group, so they had a really good model of this is what I'm asking you to do, then they worked in smaller groups. They read different sections of the article, wrote questions using the question stems.
Why did Roxanne say men blow up, then they blow it off?
And then they wrote answers and presented them back to the group.
There's a lot of stereotyping for her that takes place on a daily basis.
After the jigsaw, I would send students home and tell them, read the whole thing. I don't want them to get into the habit of thinking, I'll just read one section, But it's a way that you can use class time effectively. How is it different to read this text than to see like some statistics about the salary range and the duties and the training you need?
You can visualize the struggles of trying to get to work in that male environment, trying to prove herself. You can see the daily struggle.
Students are taking away the understanding that asking questions of yourself or writing questions and answering them in writing is a good reading strategy for nonfiction texts. They're understanding that I have to work on my reading skills for this test, so the strategies that I'm using with this text, I can apply to a different text.
Is there any job security?
And I think a text like this also shows students that you can think a little more outside the box.
If you are thinking, wow, I want to be a cool, tough woman, then this is the job for me, and I can conquer the world and I can overcome these stereotypes.